Hey guys, my name is 𝐓𝐫𝐿𝐼𝐵 and I'm so excited to share with you today on this topic why I will never be eating those fake meat alternatives. Now, I must say, I do understand why they exist. And to be honest, I've had many people that I've worked with that are making that transition away from processed foods to real foods, and this can really be quite helpful. But as you probably know, that my diet is really about whole foods. So let me share with you the 3 reasons why I won't be eating those fake meat alternatives, even if they are burgers. So, firstly, as I suggested, we want to move away from processed foods to whole, real foods. So what do I mean when I say processed foods? I mean those foods that are made from man and machine. We want to move away from foods that are made in plants to foods that are made from plants. And so a whole foods diet is the human being's real diet, not processed foods made in machines. So in making that transition, then these fake meat alternatives, you know, some of them are made from highly genetically modified crops, with really highly processed, and at worst, some of them are made in laboratories. This is really not the type of food that we really want to be eating. Secondly, I know that a lot of you will also support that there are environmental reasons why we might want to look at some of these alternatives. For example, when we look at the way that cattle are reared and the conditions and what that does to the environment, these are many of the reasons why some of these alternatives exist. But you know what? I've noticed that we're missing a really important point here, which is when we spray the crops with pesticides and chemicals, these highly genetically modified crops like soy, that is really one of the main ingredients in a lot of these alternatives. When we spray them, we're actually destroying our soil. We're ridding our soil of all the nutrients that it's needed to actually grow the rest of the foods that we need to be eating in abundance. So we need to take a minute here and really take a step back and consider how can we have nutrient-rich soil that allows us to grow the crops, the foods, the plants that we really need to be eating in abundance, not strip them from those nutrients and also spray pesticides and harmful chemicals on our foods that we end up eating. So there are some alternatives that I have considered that I actually do like jackfruit. It's a great alternative to pork. And I also like mushroom. It's got that texture that you really want, especially in a burger. Some of the beans and the legumes, these are great alternatives. And you notice that these are also whole foods. But when we're talking about eating genetically modified crops and are highly processed and a list of ingredients that I can't pronounce, that's not really the foods that I want to be eating. And lastly, you know, I think we've really forgotten that convenience foods came about because as the women, we started to realize that we can get into the workforce. We went into the work into the 70s and we stopped making home-cooked meals. So we looked for those convenience foods to help us. You know, time was short, we needed efficient ways. We were now managing working, home life, cooking, personal life. We understand that the food industry came in to help us with all these convenience foods. But tell me, when we come up with new convenience foods that are highly processed, are we really addressing the real issue here? Are we creating more convenience foods that are taking us more away from the real foods that we really should be eating, the whole foods that flood our body with the nutrients that we need, or are we just creating a list of more convenience foods and just getting really away from what we want to be doing? So I hope you really understand the 3 reasons why I won't be eating those fake meat alternatives, but I'll be really looking for those alternatives that exist that really do still support my body with all the nutrients it needs without eating an abundance of meat. So there are so many simple ways. Now, I would love to hear your opinion on this. I want to hear your comments, so please do leave me a comment below. I want to see where you're struggling, what your thoughts are on this topic. So really do, share with me what's going on for you in this topic. And I also know that you will know someone, friend, family, colleague maybe, that needs support with their transition to a whole foods diet as well. So do share this video with them to support them in their health journey as well. And don't forget, if you have noticed that health is your true wealth and you want accountability to reach your health goals in whatever they will be, then subscribe to this channel because I really want to be here to support you on this journey. Take care.